everyone, welcome to Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon. I made it.
and me, Banshee. Guess who's taken over? No, he's not. But
I'm here to lend a gentle assist.
He is guest starring on my show today because I guest starred on his show on Friday.
And you can still catch that on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and please do. And it's the holidays, and I thought, why not let Mr. O chime in on some material matters with me.
But here we are with Banshee's Material Matters. Thank you for inviting me to your show, Banshee.
Well, you are very welcome, Mr. O, and likewise to your show. I had fun delving into the emotional side of life.
And I even learned a few things, too.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if we can mutually learn from each other on this one.
Oh, I don't know. You're a clear case of the student surpassing the teacher.
Oh, please. You humor me. All right. Well, anyway, we always start our show, people, with the card for the collective. And Mr. O will pick it for us today. And I have chosen the Tarot Affirmations deck. Let's see what he can pull for us today. This is by Sally D. Hill.
Can I do like a Klingon thing? Today is a good day to die. No. However, it is a good day to be the Hermit.
It's my card. He picked my card, number 9, the Hermit. I am introspective, introspection, the beginning of a solitary journey to explore unknown, neglected parts of self.
I am engaged in a search for the meaning and purpose in life and daily activity.
I have the courage to journey along unfamiliar paths to discover my inner voice and vision.
I reorganize my life to free myself. It would help if I did that. For inward reflection.
No. All right, this is a problem. Finally, I draw upon my enlightened experience to help others with their search for meaning.
Well, hi, Sun Man.
So that's very interesting for our material matters. These are some affirmations you can keep in mind for the week ahead.
And thank you, Sun Man.
Okay.
This wouldn't be a show together without...
I should have thought of this before I cluttered up the table too much this time. But, it's the holidays. So we'll be reading for the elemental signs of the Zodiac. For your week ahead in material matters. This could be a short week again for some of us because of the holidays. And don't forget, this is your weekly tarot keys to success in business, education, and finance. And as I always do, I'm using the Spirit Within Tarot by Stephen Bright.
Alrighty, and I'm trying to get Sunman a little more comfortable here.
I know, because you've got to shuffle for me, Mr.
He's literally back up onto the keyboard.
Ah, dear. Just as long as he doesn't cut us off. You stay there, or I will shoo you off. You ought to know.
Alrighty. We'll go with this for now.
Okay.
See how that works.
Stick my deck away, but
so this is for the air signs?
This is for the air signs. And before we get started, I just want to mention that this next week, the moon is in Gemini on Sunday, and it will travel through to Leo, probably Virgo by next Saturday. But because I don't have a new moon calendar yet, I didn't totally verify that. But I'm pretty sure it'll be going into Virgo on Saturday at some point. And the full moon this week, we have a full moon, and it's going to be in Cancer.
Ooh, that sounds like a moody time.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
All right. So, air signs, this is for you, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We're starting off with your focus card for the week is the 5 of Cups reversed. So this is your focus, where you should put your attention on in material matters in the week ahead. Well, I think you need to focus on new opportunities. Hey, a new year is coming. Maybe you've got some plans or ideas for this new year. I think your focus is going to be on making some new things happen or getting some new things off the ground. Maybe you've had some disappointments in 2020 and you're looking to move beyond that. What do you think, Mr. O?
Well, I think that the focus could also include realizing that others maybe are coming back to be in touch with you and might be helpful too. So some of that is there as well.
Okay. So how can you best prepare for yourself for this focus in the week ahead? What do you need to know, air signs? Well, you need to know something. You got the moon. You got the moon reversed. And I think what it means is that maybe you need to make sense of some realizations that have come to you recently. You may have uncovered some facts and information that you did not know before. And so, this might help you prepare for these new opportunities. Actually, this is maybe why you are seeking out new opportunities in the week ahead.
It does seem to be all about trying to peer through the mist, uncover what maybe was not so readily seen, that kind of thing. I think that the moon almost always plays a part in also perception of people's emotionality and or agendas, both hidden or overt. We just start to understand people through the emotionality that we see.
So your interactions with others, air signs, will there be conflict or cooperation in the week ahead with others? Well, we have the Knight of Wands reversed. So, I think that, there could be some aggressive energy, a little bit of pushiness by others, maybe managers that have high expectations, maybe, if you are a manager, some pushback from your employees, some disgruntlement, I think. What do you think?
Well, it does look to me like maybe there is this pushback factor. It seems to be that maybe you have questions about trustworthiness and or, putting your reputation on the line. Will that work with how other people are viewing you and making partnerships, networking with you? You know what they say about rats deserting a sinking ship. This is not a sinking ship, of course, but the idea that maybe this is where where your true friends are in your business or otherwise.
Good point. And I think that it could also not bode too well for people who maybe are waiting for positive news about a new job or things of that nature, that people may it might be delayed, or it might be that, the news is not what you were expecting. Thus, maybe the focus on new opportunities. And so the final outcome of this, will there be gains or losses for you in this week ahead, air signs? Well, we got justice reversed here. So it looks like there might be some setbacks. There might be some setbacks in relation to maybe how you feel you've been treated in this past week by others. That you didn't get a fair shake. People didn't treat you fairly, your ideas, your plans, or maybe your presentation if you were going and looking for a job.
Right. It does seem like the week ends with the idea that maybe things didn't end up exactly in your court. To me, there's a small hint that maybe the issue could still be open and maybe addressed in the future, but things are not exactly where you want them.
Does it look like that Justice card and the Knight of Wands could be connected maybe there?
Yeah, I kind of see that too, because it could be that this represents more tangibly another player on the battleground there, whether it's in your office or whether it's in your neighborhood politics or anything of that sort.
So let's try to recap this a little bit, shall we? So we've got the Five of Cups here as the focus, and it looks as though for you air signs that, you're going to be looking at new opportunities. It's time to let the disappointments of the recent past or maybe this past year go and look and seek out new opportunities for growth and development and potential. If you're a student, for example, semester starting soon, the new semester, so maybe, you're debating, maybe you should be setting your course differently in the upcoming semesters, as far as your major goes or something like that.
In general, 5 cards mostly between any of the suits sort of represent plus minus kind of qualities. Like they don't have huge variance in reversed or otherwise. So I am thinking that there is this idea here that you're just going to be finding some things coming back into focus and new things to focus on.
So basically, the second card was the Moon card, and it was how best to prepare for this focus. Well, I think it's like you need to find out some things if you haven't already. But if you have found out some information that seems pertinent to your situation this week, it's time to really take that into account. Maybe it will help you determine what new opportunities and objectives, whether they're financial, whether they're career-oriented or school-oriented, that you have.
Check the vibe level. The moon says check on vibes. Pay attention to the vibes you feel around you with people that you partner with or various things going on there, because that's maybe where you'll see where these plans are.
And how about people? Will they cooperate or not with you? We have that Knight of Wands reversed there, air signs. So I get the feeling that people are not going to be that much in your court. There's a little bit of aggressive energy. There's a little bit of negative energy, especially if you're applying for jobs and whatnot, or something new, maybe alone. There's a potential there that somebody is just going to be not helpful. And, okay, go ahead. I was
just going to say I agree with that mostly this is matters about how you look at people and maybe the shifting sense of trust with them. Some you may trust more, some you may trust less.
And ultimately, the Justice card reversed is the final, where you'll end up by week's end. It just seems as though you feel like you haven't been given a fair shake in some way. You've been treated unfairly, or that something's out of balance. Maybe there's something out of balance in your work life, situation that you have to get back into. You got to give even keel to both.
It's a true sense here of maybe also finding the need to stand up a little bit for yourself against any possible recriminations or comments against you that you just sort of don't want to necessarily take it, sitting down. You may want to have to defend yourself.
Good point, Mr. O. All right. Good job on number 1.
I feel like I fit in here.
We're going to move right on to the fire signs.
Alrighty. And Mr. Sunman, if you keep doing this with the camera, I have to keep readjusting it because you're just so volatile here. My goodness.
I know. Well, Mr. O, I did not feed them yet.
Oh, dear.
I think I mentioned that.
I know you did. Not to our audience previously.
No. So I think they're a little antsy.
Okay.
Thank goodness there's only one up here.
So we are moving on to the fire signs then.
Fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and me, Aries. This is for us. For the week ahead. Okay, let's see if I can't get this deck in here the way it's supposed to. There we go. And Mr. O is cutting. And we have your focus card for the week ahead, fire signs. Oh, well, we ran out of gas right from the get-go.
Oh, dear.
We have the Chariot reversed. No forward movement there. So maybe the focus is on what's wrong. Why are things sputtering right now? Why can't you get that ignition, going? Where's the spark? It seems as though right now you feel like you're kind of stuck.
The question could truly be that metaphor for cars in most ways. The idea that it won't go. It won't start. Maybe you need a jump of some sort. So this card is just saying look for the things that will motivate you, because the Chariot beyond maybe car foibles also talks about motivation, challenging yourself.
Drive.
So you have to really look for that this week. I think that's the focus, is like not just anything is going to inspire you.
You have to dig deep, I think. And let's see how best we can prepare for that focus. That came up in the same spot for the air signs. It's the moon reversed. So this is really interesting. There's some revelations, I don't know if this has to do with investments or a job, but there is something out there. Maybe the thing is you feel like you're stuck until you can find out certain facts that are relevant to the situation you're in right now. And I get, the best way to prepare for that is to get those facts, to reveal them. So otherwise, it seems like you are standing still until you do.
Right. Once again, it just seems to be that you need to try to figure out others' motivations. You need to try to feel the vibe you're getting there and maybe be able to analyze it. It may be that others have agendas and they're not necessarily contrary, but you need to know where you fit into them so that maybe you can interface better. Maybe you can steer it a certain way. Maybe you can give suggestions that will help everybody.
Well, it's really interesting about this. I could see this in a number of different scenarios. Like you're thinking about applying for a job, but maybe you don't know enough about the company. You need to find out more facts and information. If it's stocks or investments or property issues, you need to do some digging to make sure you have all the facts because you just are afraid to make that move without that. So I kind of see how that goes hand in hand.
Well, the other thing is that this is sort of as the moon moves along through the week, and of course the moon will be moving more into Virgo, and Virgo is definitely a sign for introspection and kind of analytics in a way. So I think the moon kind of plays into...
We have a full moon in Cancer too.
So then
we're getting the moon.
Like what we find out drives us to severe depression and moodiness.
This is me, the fire signs.
Sorry,
dear.
fire signs.
I can kind of see how this fits in a way. So basically, will there be will people be helpful, cooperative, or will there be conflict? Well, it seems as though, people won't have much to offer as far as helping you with this information goes. The page is often about news, right? And getting news and information. And that one in particular is about finances. And so I get the feeling here that, people are not going to be too helpful. You're really going to have to kind of ferret this out on your own.
Well, it could be, too, that since it's about what's going on, actual interactions with people, it could just be, too, that maybe certain people are not going to be really able to help you see your vision or help you focus. They won't be as supportive. They may be looking at things that are just clearly more in their own interest, and they're not going to see what you are envisioning. So that is a factor, I think.
Could they be withholding information? I'm just asking.
We have the moon over there.
Well, that's revealed, though.
That is true. It is revealed, but I still sort of feel there's a possibility of some amounts of deception or hidden things. Whether the moon is dark or full, there's still something hidden, mysterious about it.
Well, thank you, Mr. O. And ultimately, where will you be by week's end? Well, maybe it's a little bit of struggle getting there, but if you can if you are determined, if you can motivate yourself to get the information you need and to work through the obstacles that perhaps other people are putting in front of you, you can achieve a victory by week's end.
Indeed, this is definitely the card of victory, so it seems to me like that's where you're going. And I think it's also, too, talking about the fact that maybe because you're working through different people's sensibilities, as we've talked about here, especially with these two cards, that maybe basically all comes through in the end, that the network, the friendship behind you is supportive and says, we like where you're going, we'll support that.
So, fellow fire signs, here's what I have. We have, kind of the focus is on why things are sputtering and not moving, and what does it take to get motivated to get to where you need to be. And we noticed here that we had the moon, and the moon indicated that... that's the last card.
I know, I'm just
okay. The moon indicated that there's some information that needs to be revealed. You seem like you're stuck until you have more facts or details because you're just not sure what to do and you're kind of frozen in place because of that. And so don't rely on others to necessarily hand it to you, this week. You might be on your own. They might have their own agendas, as Mr. O suggested, or...
check the vibe level.
Yeah.
If you're intuitive at all, you'll probably be able to read between the lines and see who supports you, who's doing their own thing.
And ultimately, there's victory. If you really can put some will and determination and be courageous enough to ferret out what you need to know.
Very good.
All right. Hey, water signs.
Who loves ya? A fellow water sign.
So he's here representing the Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces.
That's right. You're in trouble.
Oh.
No, you're not. And gee, this will be the first time I'll be able to really shuffle the deck as well as I really want to, riffle.
Somebody has, well, we shouldn't talk. You know what happens.
The space has been cleared.
Oh, here, hurry. So, what do you think so far, Mr. O, of being on my program?
Well, it's a delightful little show, I am sure. And of course, now perhaps this signifies greater things to come.
Like you'll be butting in?
Well, I think that's happened before, with hands moving into the scene.
Yes, that's true, Mr. Producer.
Sort of sotto voce saying,
All right. So, hey, water signs, this is for you. Your focus. Why is everybody getting reversals? Arr! So we have the Emperor reverse right now for you guys. And water signs, that looks to be, maybe you're just not feeling in control of your, material affairs this week. That, it's a shorter week in some ways. We've got New Year's coming and maybe you're just distracted, but it seems to me, you're not in the mood to take care of business, and business needs to keep going, be taken care of.
Water signs are suffering from feeling in control as much as whether or not that is the reality. That sometimes just the sense of feeling you're in control really makes the difference. Whatever's going on with water signs, they're just not feeling it, and therefore they're not willing to maybe make that effort.
Yeah.
So hopefully that won't last very long.
So, whether you're a student, whether you're into finance, financial affairs, keep your eye on stuff this week. A lot of things could be happening right at this end of the year mark. So how do you best need to prepare for this focus? What can you do about this? Well, we got the Seven of Cups reversed now.
Oh, that almost answers itself.
Okay, you want to go first? I'll let you go first.
Well, this is saying how can you best prepare yourself? And it's saying really sort through what you've been thinking about and arrive at the best conclusion. It may be that there are a number of choices that you wish to deploy, especially if these are about, checking into your financial situations or your education and other prospects. You need to really kind of winnow out some of your ideas. Maybe you need to spend a little time really thinking and focusing on them.
Yeah, maybe this lack of focus and drive with the Emperor here to keep things in order is basically because you're having trouble making your mind up about something important, and you need to focus your attention on that, because letting that go may be causing things to kind of spiral out of control, particularly if you're a manager. In a business, you're running your own business, it's time to make some difficult decisions. So, no.
Sunman.
No. Come on. He can't get around. That's part of it. Come on.
He's going to want to come all the way over here, though.
No, he's not. He's staying here. Trust me.
Okay. So let's move on.
All right. So how will people help or hurt this week? Will there be conflict or cooperation amongst others? And look at that. That's a really nice card for a water sign to get there. That's Temperance. And Temperance is just like a balance and harmony with people this week. Despite, the inability to focus or concentrate and make decisions, people are going to be a calming influence for you.
And to some degree, that might be the role you yourself play, because the water signs are generally the more empathic ones. And so maybe the sensing of the moods and things like that will allow you to convey these ideas, to have more moderation, more consideration for what's going on, and maybe make other people feel like just cooperating and being moderate along with your plans too. Right.
So, will there be forward or backward movement for water signs by week's end? I'm sorry, water signs. It looks as though the fool is leaping off that cliff without looking first. So, be careful. I mean, if you're not willing to make the hard decisions and the hard choices, you could have a setback. Do you want to add anything to that?
I think a lot of this could be about impatience, and that just maybe there's a restlessness, and of course things are changing daily, so sometimes people just maybe make a fatal overreaction. This is not a miscalculation, it's more like an overreaction, like maybe just feeling impulsive, because that is kind of the sign of the Fool reversed, is impulsivity, and it may lead to a bad move.
So this is one of those, I'll save this one for the wrap up. I have something to say about that. Let's wrap this up first. So let's take a look at this, water signs. It looks like your focus this week is just about, why can't I get everything in control? It seems like things are spiraling out of control, and it seems like you seem to not be able to manage it. Whether you're a manager, whether you're an employee who's just buried under, or a student, it seems like you've allowed things to get under control. And why? Because you haven't been able to make a decision or important move that you need to make, and it's time to do it. It's basically saying this is the time to try to get it together and do it.
There's a lot of connection between those two, so that's well said. Then we move on to Temperance there.
I get the feeling Temperance just means that, people around you could be a calming influence for you this week. They might be very helpful in some ways in getting you to kind of focus your attention on what you need to do.
And my gestalt on that is that it's also an interchange, because your calminess really generates to other people. So you just all work together to create that atmosphere.
So ultimately, I feel the issue here is this Fool reversed. At week's end, you could have the potential of jumping off that cliff without a parachute and without a safe landing. And it's basically because you leapt before you looked this time.
It's kind of interesting because really, in some ways, it sort of says, you're going to get it together and people are going to help you. But maybe you just need to also really do that check with yourself. Don't be too impulsive.
Well, I feel that way, but I also feel I have told you it's time to make that decision. But will you make it? So ultimately, if you're not following this course, you're going to possibly jump off the cliff without a clue, and it could hurt you. So do be aware and do make informed decisions.
Wasn't that dramatic the way it fell like that?
Yeah, sure, Mr. O.
It was an accident.
Do be aware.
I guess I won't be coming back anymore.
Where's the cane? So that's what we have for you, water signs. Just take care and do try to make those decisions. Don't leave things hanging. Don't think you're going to, you're just going to be able to do something, pull a rabbit out of your hat at the end of the week, because you're not.
You and the rabbit might be taking a leap too far.
That's true. That is true. So that leaves us with our earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This is for you. And Mr. O and I share moon in Capricorn.
I want my share back.
You can't have it.
Mr. O did an unboxing of the Tarot.
Oh my goodness.
Tarot for Boxers Day, so that's still available on the channel. Check it out. It's pretty short. It's 10 minutes.
It's short and painless.
But we'd love for you to see
it. When will I
it.
do an unboxing? Or, well, most of my stuff have been unboxed. But, I should do a review of something new, I guess, Mr. O.
Well, I'm hoping, too, that
but
maybe...
I won't be doing it in my boxers.
With more time on our hands, that we'll get around to some of our other review work that we wanted to do.
Indeed. And earth signs. Okay, we're starting with your focus card for the week ahead. And why should we stop with the reversals now? Here we go. It's the Ace of Cups reversed. And I get the feeling that you're searching for the joy. You're searching for the love and the joy. Where is the love you used to have for your job or your, what you're doing? Where is the joy? It seems like it's not there right now. Either investments are kind of flat, the housing market isn't going where you want it to be, your studies are not what maybe your coursework is not what you want it to be.
Your heart's not in the right place, perhaps. That's a good way to look at that. Your heart is not in the right place. You don't feel the care for things right now. Maybe you're a little bit upset because there's too many delays with the projects you've been trying to do. And it's the holiday time, and usually a lot of things really slow down a lot. And if you are trying to be active, if you're trying to get ahead, this could really take some of your heart away.
So, how best can you prepare for that focus? Wow. Well, we got the 7 of Swords, and it is upright. I'd say by being clever, by being a little bit sneaky, by being a little bit looking out for yourself. You have to look out for yourself and your self-interest sometimes. And maybe that also means, maybe not being so gossipy or chatty on the job or in the workplace. Because, others can use that against you. You never know.
This really is about you taking care of things for yourself, because it's really like you're in a situation where maybe you don't have a lot of other partners. And maybe there's also a sense of righteousness here, too, that, this is a kind of situation where you really are the best person for the job, the best person to do the task kind of thing. So you're just trying to play your cards right and hope that maybe either you will or won't be noticed in the appropriate way.
Right. And so if we say that's to prepare for this focus, I kind of feel too that maybe this is just indicative is you have to get kind of clever and maybe even a little bit sneaky about bringing some of the joy back into your life, your work in your material affairs, however that may be.
Very nice.
All right. So what about people? Will they be helpful or not? Cooperative or conflict in the week ahead? Well, it's an interesting card in this position, Mr. O. I mean, it's generally a positive card upright, but I almost get the feeling that, does this mean that other people might be looking out for their own interests, for their own thing to come in, or are they there helping you plan? What is your
I'd
take?
say that it could be a little bit of both, that maybe people are arranging themselves, but they're not quite here yet. They're not quite aligned with you. It may be that you've been making some of those preparations to create the team or create the network, but they're just not quite there yet. You're more doing the work of bringing them in. Maybe they're out there thinking, yeah, I want to do this, but I have to line up things on my side too.
Yeah. And so I get the feeling that, the other thing about this card is I almost think that maybe others will be there for you. You all are working on the same goals and objectives in the workplace, and let's say you're working with financial advisors and different people. Hey, they want to make money off of you too in your interests. So you're all working on the same aim for different reasons maybe, but so I do feel like there might be some help for you from others this week.
Distant lands even.
Well, and ultimately, will there be forward or backward movement or no movement at all by week's end? It's the dreaded 5 of Pentacles, but it's reversed. And I don't know here. The 5 of Pentacles reversed is kind of a slow healing process. I almost think that things are not quite together where you would like them to be by week's end, but they are showing some signs of life. Let's just put it that way.
I think there's signs of life, but I think that this is really also too, you're in for the duration, so to speak, that this is really like kind of like an acceptance that or an awareness that that really you are not out of the woods yet.
Right.
There's still a bit to move through. And, you're going to need still some support, and hopefully, you'll be able to find that. But you may be on your own still for a while yet.
Yeah.
So let's sum it up.
So we have the Ace of Cups reversed, which means you're looking for the joy this week. How do you bring the joy back into your work career, your material affairs? What's missing? What is missing?
Right. Something is not being enjoyed. It could just be that things are taking too long for you to manifest.
And that 7 of Swords reversed is kind of like the best way to prepare for that focus is to try to be clever about it. Think outside the box. Do some things you don't normally do to shake up your work routine a little bit, or your school routine,
The cleverness also implies, too, that maybe not that it's just covert, secretive, but that you really are, again, working on your own a little bit, that this is not the kind of thing that you can have office coworkers or other interested parties assist you. You kind of got to do this on your own.
And I feel as though people could be helpful to you this week. I don't know why. I know we have that card where you just said you're kind of on your own, but I look at that and I keep thinking of shared goals. Ultimately, people have their own motivations. Like, for example, everybody wants a win-win. And so some people may want to shine more than you so they can take credit for the win or whatever. But I think ultimately, since people are working on the same goals, you want the same outcome, a positive outcome.
And with me, I merely think it's in stages, that I think that this is really the idea that there still is not exactly a total alignment between those helpers and yourself, that maybe there are just some other conditions that have to fall in place, whatever they are.
Right. And finally, the Five of Pentacles reversed. I like what he said. You better be in it to win it, because it may take a little bit longer than anticipated. You're going to have to put more work into it. And also, it's just showing that this is kind of a slow growth process. There's signs of life.
I can't disagree with it. I think Banshee gets the last word on that one.
Well, so that's our readings for everybody. And I want to thank you all for being here today. And a reminder with Mr. O here that don't forget he does his emotional exchanges every Friday. And, you know, that's the emotional side of life, which is just equally as important as our material side. So join him, won't you? Join Beanie Man.
Thank you, Ben. It's a beret, not a
beanie. Beret Man. Sorry. Yeah, I
get that right, Banshee.
Call them beanies. And the bling will go away after New Year's, so say goodbye to it. By next Sunday, back to normal. Normal long COVID hair. One thing I wanted to end with for all of you guys real quickly, though, is, you know, we all had kind of downturns in these readings. They were a little bit trial and tribulation-like, and I really feel, you know, we're all tired of 2020. We can't wait for it to end, and hoping for better times ahead. So let's hope the new year brings us all better things materially.
Right, both of our next shows will be in the new year.
Yeah.
Mine will actually be on New Year's morning. Right. I hope you'll join me again.
That's right.
And we can talk about what's in store in love for New Year.
So I absolutely wanted to throw that out there before we signed off and wish everybody a happy, healthy, and wealthy New Year. All right, take care, everybody.